everybody, this is Geek Girl 1980 from the Bounty Hunnies. You are listening to the Escape Podcast. This show is recorded in front of a live Twitch audience. I am acting as the personal assistant for both the famous Kate Gaming and the Llama, reminding you to go check out their brand new farming guide on our YouTube channel, the Bounty Hunnies. Take it away, boys.
One is a Grand Arena specialist from the UK. The other is a territory battle tactician from the US. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. With both having played this game since launch, the one thing we are sure of is that you will be entertained. The Escape Pod Cast, a service of the Escape Pod Castaways. A weekly podcast about the mobile game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Live from the network studios of Yavin 4, here are your hosts, Neil Andrew Eyre and Paul Anthony.
Coming up on this week's edition of the Escape Pod Cast,
Jedi Knight Luke returns to the holotables.
And we got a calendar to kick off the week.
But that is not all we got.
On April 1st, when most of us are on our guard for tricks,
Capital Games decided to give us an honest-to-goodness treat.
Well, it was April Fool's and not Halloween, but you get the point.
We had a puzzle, and Paul was at the epicenter of it all.
I will go into detail of how we got to where we are now with the reveal of Hunter coming up.
And we will look at his kit and talk about everything we know as well.
Story time moves to prime time this week.
The world-famous Kate Gaming joins us, along with the Llama, in our incoming transmission.
We will talk Bounty Hunnies, their new farming guide, and also maybe dabble in a few other topics.
And a new episode of Helle and The N00b premieres tonight.
Along with Patreon's Choice on the Bridge and more.
All this and breaking news as and if it happens.
Right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast News.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Escape Pod Cast. I'm your host, the Nev, and as always, I'm joined by my hetero life partner, Paul Anthony. Paul, how are you today?
Doing well. First off, the number one thing that we want to do is thank the Twitch community for getting us to 1,000 followers as of April 1st. Thank you very, very much for that. We're very excited to be part of the 1K club now. And yeah, as I said, a thank you to everybody that made that happen.
Lovely.
Also, a quick thank you to everybody that stopped by the recent stream this past weekend where I did a marathon stream to help raise money for my dental surgery. We're over halfway to the goal I need to be at by the end of this month of April. So GoFundMe.com/F/HelpPaulSmile if you are feeling generous. Or if you need the link, you could just type exclamation point GoFundMe in the chat. That will get you the link to do that. Any Twitch bits go towards through the month of April will not arrive in time, so they will go to my half of them will go towards the second part of the surgery, the dentures, which that's going to be fun. But we had an exciting week, didn't we?
It was full. It was absolutely chocker. It was very, very full. Considerably more packed with news this week than last week. Last week was more, just going through the motions, gameplay, GAC, Conquest, stuff like that. This week, it was all, obviously no Conquest, because that's off, but it was news, Conquest updates, addressing game instance crashes, puzzles, all sorts.
Yeah, so let's go chronologically here, but actually let's not go chronologically. Let's start with the breaking news because we do say breaking news as and if it happens.
Yeah.
That is the Conquest update. Doja says that our first 2 Conquest events have concluded and we're parsing through the data and feedback in order to refine the experience going forward. Before diving into further detail, they'd like to thank the passionate player base and the feedback and excellent demonstrated by you for the feedback and excellent excitement. Wow, I can't read today. Demonstrated by you as Conquest was welcome to the holotables in a big way. Yes, I agree. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. As we previously mentioned, the first several Conquest events are meant to serve as exhibitions. While we'll continue to keep a close eye on the event and make adjustments as needed, we'll begin settling into a monthly cadence with Conquest. The event will run for 2 weeks, followed by 2 weeks off until the next one begins. So 2 on, 2 off, 2 on, 2 off. That's fine. That's fine with me. For April, Conquest will begin in the middle of the month to allow us the time we need following the conclusion of the first 2 events to address some of the bugs and issues that surfaced during the exhibition period. So apparently there were bugs.
There were bugs. There were visual bugs. You know, if you were clicking, if you got to the boss, you couldn't see what the feats were. You just could, unless you got very, very close to the screen and squinted, you couldn't see them because they were faded out. So there was that, and there was one other visual bug. I can't remember what it was. There were a couple of visual bugs.
Basically, because your stats scaled down percentage-wise to your stamina, you could basically send in JKL and slow the entire team down to 13 speed if you did it right.
Not something I noticed.
And then the following Conquest will likely feature the introduction and removal of a few data disk sets, different bosses, and a change in the rewards. They better not touch my Razor Crest shards. That's all I'm saying.
They're not going to do anything to the Razor Crest shards. All they're going to be doing is it's going to be the gear and the mod slicing material and the relicate stuff. That's all they're going to tweak.
Do you promise they're not going to touch my Razor Crest shards?
That's what we knew.
I will make you eat those words.
Yeah, we kind of knew that they were going to tweak. We kind of knew that they were going to change the bosses because the whole point of this mode is each one. I mean, obviously, the number of sectors isn't going to change, and the number of battles per sector isn't going to change. What's interchangeable is the teams that you face, the bosses that you face, and the data disks. Those are the variables that make it fun and interesting to play. So we kind of already knew that the bosses and that the teams were going to be different, but the whole the data disk sets, changing those. Well, I mean, it could mean anything. It could mean that, you know, they remove really, really good ones and replace them with not so good ones, or that they remove the bad ones, the ones that just never, ever get used by people, and replace them with more interesting mods that people might use. I mean, as far as I was concerned, I mean, I only really used 4 types of mods. And that was the offense buff, the defense buff, the turn meter, and the deployable. Those were pretty much the only 4 data disks that I used, and I just got as many of the turn meter and the deployable ones as I could. And that, having that on 2 accounts, got me exactly what I needed. 2 accounts, I didn't get any of the data disks that I needed or wanted, and I think on 1 account, I couldn't get past the Sector 2 boss. And on a 3rd one, I think I couldn't get past the Sector 4 boss, and both those were in the normal accounts. So yeah. Oh yeah, no, we just had a raid from the Dodger. Yeah, no.
Very much for that.
I got some really good data cards on my main alt, which, as you know, I put that one on hard and left my main on normal because I was a little bit apprehensive about putting them both on hard and being a little bit over the top concerned that I wouldn't make it to the first reward box. Obviously, those fears were instantly allayed during the first day when my alt main, which isn't as strong as my main, made it to the second loot box in the first 3 days. And I'm thinking, so there I was doing my main. I mean, I completed it again. So it's just that the next time it comes out, I will be putting my main and my main alt both on the hard, and then I'll be leaving my 2 smaller alts on the normal. But it was good. I enjoyed it. Exactly the same as the first one. I enjoyed it on 2 accounts. I had fun on 2 accounts. I didn't have fun on the other 2 accounts because I wasn't getting the data cards that made it fun. So it's yeah. Well, one of these days I'll have fun on all 4 accounts, but for the time being, no fun.
Yeah, Skexy says that if you can clear normal, you can do better in hard.
Oh yeah, no, and like I said, I know that now. I didn't know that at the start of the second exhibition, which is why I left my main in normal, because I knew I could complete it and get all the way to that 6th reward box. I didn't know how hard was going to be, which is why I threw my main alt account in, which is at about 4.5, and that was why I did it that way. So yeah, I'm going to be behind by double, 10, 12 Razor Crest shards on my main than I am on my main alt, but we'll see how it works out. It depends how many it falls onto.
If they touch the Razor Crest shards, then yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see the cadence of which they're unlocked. Because as I pointed out, if you purchase the Razor Crest shards from the store, from the nodes as you go along, you only have to get to the second place box, not the big red one, but the big gold one. You only have to get to the gold box to be able to unlock it at the exact same time as somebody getting the red box every single time.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's not going to be it won't be an issue on my two big accounts moving forward. It really won't. But knowing my luck, it doesn't matter. I'll get 144, and then I'll have to wait a month because it's the 2-week waiting period, then the 2 weeks of conquest. So exactly the same thing happened to me. Darkside GOTB just finished. Got the rewards for what Tambor? 99 of 100.
Oh, I feel you. We're one away.
One away. I'm one away from my 7. I've got all of the crosses ready to take him straight to gear 12. And 99 of 100. So yeah. So now I've got to wait a month. A month.
I feel your pain. I really do. Let's get to the calendar here because we're going to spend the second segment talking about the puzzle, how the puzzle came along. Thank you, JJ Manners, for subscribing. 10 months of awesomeness from JJ Manners. Thank you very much. We will hit the calendar here. Week 5 of Grand Arena, which was a typo, will be on 4/19, which of course we've got week 2 going. Week 3 is the 5th. Week 4 is the 12th. Of course, yes, week 5 would fall on the 19th. They're saying that Grand Arena will not restart until 2 weeks after, if this is true. If May 3rd is truly the date of the beginning of the next Grand Arena, we're going to have 2 weeks off in between, but it is going to be 5v5, Neil.
The calendar's the calendar's a mistake. Doja posted that he made an error. Week 1,
he made an error calling week 5, week 4.
Sorry, say that again.
He corrected and said I'm sorry, I was wrong. There was a typo. Week 5 is supposed to be week 4.
And I'm saying that he made us. I think that the mistake wasn't that week 5 should say week 4. It's that week 5, because there is no week 5, should be week 1, which would mean there would be a 1 week gap between the end of the current one and the beginning of the next one. That's where I think the error occurred.
Well, they did put the 1 week gap in there. Week 5 on the 19th, which is, of course, supposed to be the off week. That means that week 1 should be April 26th. But they're saying that week 1 begins May 3rd.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I don't care. I mean, a 2 week break would be lovely. 2 week break would be lovely. It really, really would.
Start a hype train. You have 1 minute from the sound of my voice. So we have those. We have the Galactic Challenges that are coming up. Imperial Troopers show up twice on the 19th and the 30th. We don't have any. We do have a Mandalorian coming up next week. Next week on the 9th. So a player Mandalorian, then a player Bounty Hunter on the 12th. Droids, our friend Shinbi will be happy. Droids on the 16th. Imperial Troopers on the 19th. Then the following week, Malachor, Rebels, and then Resistance. So, the Mandalorians will be versus the Night Sisters. We all know that the Night Sisters are a not so beloved enemy in Galactic Challenges.
See, it'll be so it'll be Galactic Challenge 1, Squad Arena, Galactic Challenge 2, Squad Arena, Galactic Challenge, Squad Arena, Galactic Challenge. So it's just Squad Arena, Squad Arena, Squad Arena. Put the Squad Arena in, hit the auto, and whatever I get, I'm happy with. Still don't care about Galactic Challenges. CG burnt that bridge with me. That bridge will never, ever, ever be restored.
The problem I have is that I want those rewards. I want the slicing material because I do like to play endgame. I do like to go. As of 3 days ago, I'm farming JML. I'm going after JML, and I'm saving for a stream that I'm going to do here on the channel. I'm saving the final unlock. I'm not going to do the last one of Tier 1. I'm not going to do the last one of Tier 2. And I'm not going to do the last one of Tier 3. I'll do those live back to back to back so people can get the entire story, boom, in one.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, if every now and then they do one where it's Jedi, so my Squad Arena does brilliant, and I get some slicing materials. I'm more preoccupied with getting good mods to 6E than the 5 shots that I can get afterwards. So it's more a case of if I've got the slicing materials to do the green and the blue, the green gold and the blue gold and the gold and the purple gold, yeah, sure. If I've got slicing materials to do that, if I'm looking at 4 rolls on a speed and I've got 30 or 40 of the slicing material, I'll look at that and go, oh yeah, brilliant, I'll have a go at it. But that said, again, it's not something I get overly fussed about because it's still a 1 in 4 chance. It's a lot of effort for a very small amount of slicing material for a 1 in 4 chance of actually rolling the speed on the mod. And I've gone balls out on that slicing material in challenges before and watched it all get spent on mods that did not roll speed, which is why I'm like, it just gave me one more reason to not care about Galactic Challenges. If they gave more slicing materials, I might care. I might be interested. If I could get enough slicing material to roll several mods, several, not just one or two, then maybe, if I could roll a half a dozen mods with the rewards for going for that final crate, I might be interested. But I don't, so I'm not.
See, I'm okay with one mod per Galactic Challenge at the pace of 2 Galactic Challenges per week. So I'm absolutely on a different boat there. I don't understand that coming from you. Quickly, we have Run DMV for 100, Cascade for 200, Cascade for another 300, and then Cascade for another 500. Oh no, Run DMV for 300, and then Cascade for another 500. Thank you very much for the bits. 3 minutes to start a hype train if somebody else other than those two wish to go crazy.
Yeah, hashtag I agree with Neil. Yeah.
I don't want people to be able to outright buy them, which they, to my knowledge, have not done. They haven't said that people could just buy their way through these mod slicing materials at any time. But at the same time, limiting where it goes, it doesn't throw rate limiting it allows it to where the whales don't have the power. They just have a slight advantage.
Do they? I'll take your word for it. Like I said, I really don't pay enough interest in Galactic Challenges to know, the ins and outs, the specifics, the nuances, all of the stuff that you know about Galactic Challenges, I know nothing about because I care so little, for Galactic Challenges. But I will definitely know.
And I feel so bad.
Give it a couple more. Give it a couple more conquests, and it might even be worth. I might even be tempted to make some content regarding specific data sets for specific factions that will just chew your way through teams, even all the way down to 30%. I found a couple of data sets for Conquest that allowed you to still 3 stars as low as 30 and 20% stamina. It was only I was only able to get that to work with I was only able to get that to work though with the CLS team though. I was only able to get it to work with the CLS Chupio team.
A gas team.
No. Nothing. I still haven't been able to figure out how to 3-star a gas team at any level. I actively look for squads that are not gas in Conquest.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
It has come to my attention that too. That cost me a few. Quickly going to also acknowledge that we do have the hype train going. Thanks to Oscar Meow with 100 bits, Cascade with another 300, Run DMV with 600, JJ Manners with a shiny nickel, Cascade with 800s, and JJ with another shiny nickel. Other than the stuff we know, territory wars and territory battles coming up, not really any gaps here, Neil.
No.
There's not anything more than a 1-day gap, which we're used to being covered by either the ship recurring event or credit heist or data heist or the Kira-led smuggler team that you need. So, I mean, I don't see any holes where anything's going to drop big. But we do have the next big drop that we're going to be talking about coming up in just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, Cascade with another shiny nickel. Cascade with another 300. JJ with 2 other shiny nickels. Let's go ahead, take a break. We have a new segment coming up in this break where we are going to look at the GA Center Patreon leaderboard in radio form. I had fun, really a lot of fun putting this together, Neil. Thank you for giving me this challenge. It felt like old times. It really did. So let us know what you think in the comments down below or in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. We'll be right back after these messages right here on the Escape Podcast.
The Escape Pod Cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
Hotbot in Hot Utils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, Hot Utils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, Hot Utils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
Hot Utils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod Cast.
Visit hotutils.com to learn more. That's HOTUTILS.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I approve this message and am compensated for signups for this service.
The world's largest audiobook library is at your fingertips, and the Escape Pod Castaways wants you to try it for free. Head on over to escapepodcastaways.com and click the Going Nerdy offer button to claim a free audiobook and 2 Audible originals. Cancel anytime, and it's absolutely free to sign up. Check out Audible and support the Escape Pod Castaways. All for free. See Audible website for details. Restrictions may apply.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to ShittyBill's Arena Tracking Bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a new month for both GAC, GA Center, and the Escape Podcast. So we bring you a new feature in this first segment that has been running on the actual show that this originally belonged to for a few months now, the GA Center Patreon leaderboard. Are you not a streamer but would like to be on the boards just like on our show GA Center? We will feature them every active GAC week right here on the show. Join the Patreon at the Kyber Combatant level or higher at patreon.com/theescapepod. There's no cast. To sign up. Hopefully you guys will enjoy this added benefit even more, and those who don't understand should catch on quickly. One thing of note is we do not count the match win banners in our totals, only the battle banners earned. We go alphabetically in the rundown, so here we go. Big Country Mags. No report from the Magnum, but he did pull in an impressive 73.59 in banners for the week. He had 37 wins, 7 losses, and 22 defensive holds. Those holds were the most for the week by any competitor. Bringer of Chaos goes 3-0 as well? Wait, what? That's not normal. A banner score of 66-11, 31 wins, 4 losses, and an impressive 17 defensive holds. That's the second most, is dang good for our favorite poker player of the Outer Rim. D. Boulder Doobies with a 1-2 reports in. 3 and 3 is always an adjustment, they say, and it never seems to go in their favor. It was a bad week of GAC with a shameful performance on my part. It's okay, dudes. There is always this week. Final tally, 50-16, 17 wins, 3 losses, and 16 holds. Dr. JoJo, our 4-time champion, goes 2-1 for the week. Round 1, he says he got up against a FU defense, but he never was attacked. Round 2 versus a Patreon of our friend Heinze. But Dr. JoJo's GL advantage was his winning move. Round 3, though, is where it all fell apart. 2 battles dropped that should not have been, and the opponent capitalized on it. Scored 20 more banners. He says he dug himself his hole in trying to 5-peat. Final tally for JoJo, 71-18, 34 up, 14 down with 8 holds. 4 strong, 2-1. Round 1, he couldn't get past Array, but pulled it out anyway. Round 2, he missed GAC because he had so much going on in life. 4 strong, I can relate to that. And round 3, even though his opponent slacked him, he stonewalled his opponent right back. And they didn't have enough in the tank, and he sailed for the easy win. 4 strong did. His shiny new JML awaits him next week. Final tally 56-32. 25 in the wins, 3 in the losses, and 8 in the holds. Hot Sauce, the creator of Hot Utils, who's included here because he's technically not a streamer. Check out hotutils.com and get access to some of the very best tools in the game. 2-1 for the week, and impressive banners to boot. And he also got all full clears. He had the most banners with 78-62. 39 teams down, that's a full clear. 4 lost, and he held 16, the third most. Leonard McFacepunch goes 3-0 along with Bringer. This world has turned upside down. Punchy had no reports though, and a final tally of 69-19. His teams went 33-7-1. Schnarman, 2-1. No report, but middle of the road for Schnarman. We've seen him do better. He was our first ever champ after all. 65-41, 32 wins, 5 losses, 11 holds. And finally, Sephironis. At least he remembered to join this week, but he also needed a very well-needed vacation, and it got in the way of him attacking. He goes 1-2, final tally, 34-06, 6 wins, 2 losses, 8 holds. The standings look like this, and for those hearing about this for the first time, match wins and losses are the main metric we track, with tiebreaker being the banners that you earned during the battles. BCM, Big Country Mags, is your current leader. And yes, if you're paying attention, Punchy and Bringer, who normally hold up the table, are standing near the top this time, trailing right behind him. Hot Sauce has the banner edge over Dr. JoJo, and Schnarman and Force at 2-1. D and Sephironis are at 1-2, with nobody that got skunked this season. That does it for this week's Escape Podcast GA Center Patreon board report. Tune in to the live show for this every Tuesday night at 10:30 Eastern during an attack week, and Wednesdays after Grand Arena wraps for that month. We'll see you right on the other side of this stinger for more of the Escape Podcast in just a moment. Be nice to each other, damn it. This week's Guild Classified is really special to me. This week is Yavin 4, the guild of me, Paul Anthony of the Escape Podcast, and also the Llama. Yavin 4 can be classified as a serious yet casual guild. They still expect you to get your 600 every day, but they aren't going to micromanage your life to ensure that you do. Getting 18 stars with access to the cam shards in the light side territory battle, and 31 stars in dark side. The crew in Yavin 4 know how to play the game in order to squeeze out the best of its members without burning them out. That's not all though. Our guild is also completing the Challenge Rancor Raid. Get those coveted arrow magnifiers with us. Yavin 4 is looking for players of at least 5.5 million who are cam shard ready with their 501st, are friendly, and want to find a place to become the best that they can be. Check out the Escape Pod recruiting link down below in the description, or I'm pretty sure that Helenix has already posted the quick command in chat. Come play alongside me and the Llama, and let's have some fun.
Hello, I am Andy Beeds, commander of the 506 Procrastination Battalion.
And I'm Camp Director Flair of Gaming Embers.
We are the officers of the Chain Gang.
We're a collection of Twitch streamers that like to stream our Grand Arena Championship battles.
In Star Wars Galaxy Heroes,
We feature accounts of all sizes,
from the large accounts like Fruit Ninja Mike
to the small accounts like, well, mine.
We have grand arena action for all viewers.
With names like The Llama,
Ran B,
Dr. Zeppers,
Mr. Jigabachi,
Geek Girl 1980,
Rico,
Kate Gaming,
Flair,
Andy Beads,
and the Escape Podcast's own The Nev.
We bring you continuous game action every day during the attack phase.
Check us out and ride the raid chain from streamer to streamer with us.
The Chain Gang is proud feature of the Escape Pod Castaways.
See you on the chain, ya hosers.
The Escape Pod Cast.
Welcome back. Oh, there was a little alert there that just popped down. I don't know who that was from, but
Oh yeah, that was just the bits. That was the they did fully
lovely.
complete the level 2 hype train, Neil. So thank you to all of you that that donated during the live show in the form of bits and subs to make a hype train. Those are always appreciated during the main show. Neil and I split those down the middle and have some fun in buying new little toys to give to you guys.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Once you have the new one in your hands, we've been talking about this. Once you have the new one in your hands and you've done the unboxing and the firmware playing with it, you're going to give it away. And anybody that has donated a minimum of 100 bits, I think it is, over the course of the month, and our Patreons and our Twitch subs will all have a chance
they'll get
to
their name thrown
win this
in the
item.
hat,
Just one entry per person.
I'm
They get their
currently
name thrown
having
in the
a
hat.
lot of fun with this one. I'm having so much fun with this one. I've been.
So for
This
our
one
audio
is
audience,
the
what is
the
this one?
Abanic RG350, and I have been having I've been having a lot of fun with it. I'm on a Game Boy Advanced / Sega Genesis / PlayStation 1 Jones at the moment.
See, I would want it for just Final Fantasy Tactics
I
Advance.
was going to start Final
That was one of
Fantasy.
my favorites.
I was going to start Final Fantasy, but the thing is, I'm having fun. I'm doing Golden Sun for the Game Boy Advanced. I'm doing Legend of Dragoon for the PlayStation 1. And I'm doing Final Fantasy. Sorry, not Final Fantasy. Shining Force on the Genesis. So I'm currently playing, because you can do saved states. You just exit out and it brings up the menu and you go to the save state and then you just save the game at whatever point it is you stop. That's one of the things I like so much about an emulator. It's not like an in-game save where you got to get to a save point. You can save it at whatever point you want. So I've literally got 3 games on the go. A Sega, a Nintendo, and a Sony game all at the same time. But I'm keeping my eyes peeled because I'm eyeing one of the first one that we're going to do. I'm eyeing up the Odroid Advance Super, which looks like a Game Boy. But this one apparently also goes up to N64, so we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, once I get it and I review it, it'll go straight back into its box, and we'll pull a name out of the hat and it'll get sent off to that person. Yeah.
I have to fully admit, our coverage of the puzzle and all that is what brought us over the 1K mark, which, once again, we're absolutely grateful for. I mainly have to thank Sig for including me in that group. It was an absolute blast to be there as we figured this out. The puzzle started with Admiral Piet getting, quote-unquote, his kit being re-released. When we took the picture of Admiral Piet through changed the gamma on it, which then revealed an imager address, which then went to a 6-color image that was a square. You could see all of this stuff on SWGOH Events' Discord server under the Crumbs Clues part. It then went to a picture that we then did a hexacue alphabet decoder called Boxcentric, and we were able to get a web address from that then led, and this is where you checked in, to a crossword puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
You checked in and explain your experience you were talking about off the air.
I kind of, there was so many people, so I jumped on the Discord, and I'm trying to find. I was trying to find what progress had been made, but it was impossible because there were hundreds of people in there, and as soon as you read one thing, it was gone off the screen. So a sentence with a dozen words in it became unreadable because the chat was so. I looked in there. I looked at a couple of the pinned messages, saw that there was a crossword puzzle. Figured, yeah, sure, people will figure out what the crossword puzzle is, and that was it. I left. It was just there was too many cooks. There was just way too many cooks. So yeah.
The one that's open to public, when there is a puzzle going, it does go quick. It is a little bit different in the private chat that we have for the puzzle masters, that we had opened the voice for, and we were broadcasting that. And then I was broadcasting that voice chat, and then I had to go. And then Sig started up his Twitch channel and broadcast the voice chat. It was great. It was fun.
Yeah, no, I did tune into Sig's. I did tune into Sig's Twitch stream, but again, I didn't understand what was on the screen. And I didn't understand what was going on in the conversation because there was no one person. There was no. Well, yeah, it just seemed a bit disjointed. There was too many cooks. I thought I was gonna tune in and Sig was gonna be like directing the orchestra. That's what I was expecting. I was literally expecting to go onto Sig's channel and see him directing the orchestra. And he wasn't.
And SD Barbarossa, we were both going back and forth. We're trying to complete the crossword puzzle. Now, the crossword puzzle actually had the hint at the very bottom. You'll need some old text and the classic way of decrypting with the yellow key. Vinegar. I never can remember how to spell it. It was a vignette cipher. That was a given. The yellow text we were able to figure out, but there were red numbers all throughout this all throughout this crossword puzzle that we put in order, decoded it, and I'll get to what that went to in just a moment. The clues were all old game manuals, old LucasArts game manuals with manual copyright protection. So all of the ship pictures were from, I believe, Masters of Orion. The I can't remember. It's not Arabesh. I'm sure somebody will probably remind me in a moment, but it wasn't Arabesh, but it was a Star Wars language from the X-Wing versus TIE Fighter manual, Neil.
Okay.
Railroad Tycoon was in there. So you just had to figure out that. Once you completed the crossword puzzle and did the decoding, it went to SB Crumb's SoundCloud account.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw the SoundCloud. I saw the SoundCloud account bit. I saw that.
He did a podcast about Diplong. I think it was. Hang on, it's in the private chat here. It was biltong. I'm sorry, biltong, which is a South African beef jerky. But during the SoundCloud event, there were 3 squeals in the background while he was doing his podcast about this bitlong recipe. And they all, if you brought them into Audacity or Audition, gave another clue, along with the Boolean scale, which is used for measuring wind.
Mm-hmm.
But and there's a thing called the Boolean cipher. So you take the 3 pieces of the code and the Boolean scale, or the Boolean cipher, and you then ended up, let me make sure I get this in the right order, because I think this is where I checked out. I'm not checked out. I was like, oh my gosh. Yes. It was SP Crumb's Dropbox account. Inside his Dropbox account was a Tinkercad file that you had to put all of the wires. If you've ever done circuitry, you know how crazy that can be.
Mm-hmm.
You had to create this circuit with and or nands. And you had to figure out where the transistors go. You had to power the darn thing. Crumb went above and beyond. He was laughing. He was interacting with us in the voice chat. He was checked into the voice chat. Never gave us a single hint. Just gave us confirmation if we were on the right track.
Yeah, no, I saw Doja and Crumb in the chat, and that on the SWGOH events Discord server. So I saw them there.
Yeah, Crumb was actually in the voice chat as well on Sig Stream with us. So once we figured out all of that, we then got Hunter of the Bad Batch. But
there's a disconnect there. I don't understand. So you're talking about 3 bits of stuff with a code, and then what? All of a sudden, you just got Hunter from the Bad Batch?
We got the numbers 242497, which went to a forum post.
Right, there you go.
On Galaxy of Heroes, which gave us the reveal of Hunter.
So you got what was needed for a link to a web page.
Yes.
Right.
We got what was needed for a link to the web page on the forums 242497. It took 4 hours and 24 minutes for us to do. Crumb had bet that it was going to be 5. He lost the bet because somebody said 4:45. But Helenix is saying it sounds way too complicated. That's the kind of stuff that we love, though. Trying to figure out, trying to crack codes. That's kind of what the Puzzle Masters have been all about. And I really, really love all of us that put our heads together for this. Extreme Laser, Star Rocks, Chiss. I wish they were still around, but we also had Never Shadow, Colonel Matt, I think I said Extreme Laser, SR71 Blackbird, Sig. Lots of people contributed to this, including people that were messaging me. And I just want to quickly say a thank you to Mr. G and Nabagov Fan 87 and Zinix for helping out with some of the things I got stuck on. So, but let's go ahead. Let's talk about Hunter. You want to read any of the kit, Neil?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. So Hunter is light side. He is going to be an attacker, a leader, Bad Batch, Galactic Republic, and this is what interests me. He's going to be a clone trooper, Neil.
Mm-hmm. Well, he is a clone trooper.
Right. Are they going to... do you think that the Bad Batch may make the cam mission a little bit easier? With the timing of the release? Later
depends.
in the game?
It really does depend what the kits are for the rest of the squad. That Wrecker and all that lot. That it really does depend on what kits they're going to make for the rest of the Bad Batch. Plus we've I'm to be honest with you, I'm a little bit confused regarding the kit reveal, because obviously we're getting Hunter, but I mean, it's only showing 3 releases immediately under, which instantly tells me that there's one missing.
I will get to that. I did want to get to that in a moment here. Let's talk about the kit real quick, and then we'll go back up to the top under the 3 releases. His basic, it's physical damage to target enemy, inflict expose, and if they were debuffed, he gets a second attack. He has 2 specials. The first one, he gives his clone trooper allies, that's any clone trooper, evasion up and stealth. Then he goes in for physical damage to all enemies. So it's a stealth everybody on your team, including yourself because you're a clone trooper, and then deal physical damage to all enemies. It's an AoE. If he was already stealth, then Bad Batch all get critical chance up and offense up for 2 turns. So all you gotta do is worry about that critical chance. See if you can get advantage, maybe. His second special, expose, once again, another expose. Target enemy for 2 turns. And then swap turn meter with target other clone trooper ally. So it's a Thrawn. Expose and Thrawn.
There's lots of characters that multiple characters that have turn meter swap. I wouldn't say it's like a Thrawn. It's not like he's got a fracture.
Well, I mean, he is exposing them.
Yeah.
If they were because you don't swap turn meter and fracture at the same time. If they were Bad Batch, they ignore taunt and inflict stun for 1 turn on their target enemy during that turn, and the stun cannot be evaded.
Yeah, that's good.
And his leader ability, plus 35 max health, plus 35 max protection, and 50% potency for Bad Batch. When Bad Batch allies use an ability, while having defense up, they deal true damage. And while they have evasion up, they have plus 50% critical avoidance. So they're very, very dodgy.
Oh, yeah.
And if you use an ability against a target-locked enemy, they cannot be countered. When damaging an enemy with expose, they remove 50% turn meter. So once again, that whole targeting a Bad Batch character and swapping turn meter, they also then remove 50% turn meter, which Fracture does. And then doubled against droid and separatist enemies. And that can't be evaded or resisted.
Yeah. No, the most striking of all of that is the Bad Batch allies can't be countered. So not being able to so yeah, the Bad Batch is going to be that's lots of squads that the Bad Batch are going to be able to just mollywop the crap out of. Like I said, it does depend on the kit for the other Bad Batch members, but if they've got abilities that put exposes on opponents, then the leadership for Hunter is going to be even more valuable, because if a Bad Batch ally is hitting an enemy that's exposed, it's cutting their turn meter in half. You won't need fast. you won't need fast. I mean, you won't need speed arrows on any of them. You could just dump a crit avoidance arrow on every single one of them. Crank that critical avoidance up to 80%. They won't need speed because every time they're hitting an opponent that has expose on them, they're cutting their turn meter in...
would eliminate 100% turn meter.
Yeah. So
if
you
they're
just
bad batch. So is this going to be killing the Reek?
I mean, it's definitely got the potential to absolutely wreck certain squads, especially if you've got somebody if everybody in the Bad Batch is laying down exposes. Yeah, this is going to be boss. There are going to be people wailing on this like mad. I mean, it's between 200 and 300 a character from scratch, marquee, and that is as long as there's no 5s and 7s. As long as there's no 5s and 7s. If they want everybody to buy all of these characters, they need to get rid of the 5s and 7s and make 10 the minimum. If they make 10 the minimum on all of these marquees, whoever wails on this character is going to wail on the rest, because putting this squad together is going to be phenomenal.
Yes. I mean, if they get rid of those and make 10 the minimum, if it wasn't for my teeth and having to do that, I would be joining the whale pod in this situation. The next character reveal, which is signified by a 6-pointed or a 6-sided, what is that? Sexagon. Pentagon, sexagon. What's after Penta?
Oh, what's after Pentagon?
Yeah.
Hexagon.
Thank you. Hexagon. I'm having trouble. I just had the second COVID shot today and my mind's foggy. The hexagon, and then you have the square, and then you have the triangle. So it's relating to each of the specific roles. I'm believing it's going to be support. You're going to see the sniper. You'll see Wrecker on the 15th. There is no reveal of a character on the 22nd, according to this. I have a feeling we're going to see Echo rework.
Or you think Echo's good? No, they can't. They can't rework. They can't rework Echo. The Echo that we currently have is from the era that he is like that.
Or they release the Epic Confrontation.
Yeah.
We've been calling for it for a while.
Is Echo really Epic Confrontation worthy?
Bring Rex into there. I bet you in the Bad Batch cartoon, Echo's going to be pivotal and huge.
More than likely, yeah.
So, would he be worthy of the Epic Confrontation? I bet so in the Bad Batch by the time the Epic Confrontation hits our holotables. That's my speculation.
I just don't think that we're going to get... I still don't think that we're going to get the Epic Confrontation until we're already into the season of the Bad Batch.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And I believe that you'll have to have Rex. So Rex and the Bad Batch going to save Echo from Wat Tambor. And
yeah, but that's not Bad Batch. That's season 7 of Clone Wars.
But that was with the Bad Batch.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So that's what they could build upon.
No, we really, really are going to have to wait. We definitely are going to wait. Have to wait and see. I mean, it could be that all we're getting is stuff from the end, which could potentially mean a different era Ahsoka Tano Epic Confrontation, as opposed to, it could be a Clone Wars era Ahsoka, as opposed to a Mandalorian era Ahsoka. So yeah, lots of different variables, but at least we know we're getting the Bad Batch. at least we know we're getting the
we'll
Bad
definitely
Batch.
see.
We've been calling for it
All right.
since, forever. And, we're finally getting it. So, yeah. Only because it serves their purpose as well. If the Bad Batch is all marquee, I guarantee you Disney, there's just going to be ads dropped all over the place for this. Oh, like the Bad Batch? Come and play with the Bad Batch. Yeah. Come and play with the Bad Batch. A bit like when StarWars.com were running ads for the game when they brought out when they brought out the Galactic Legends. And I absolutely hammered them for it. It's like, I absolutely hammered them on their YouTube comment. I went, it's going to take anybody starting this game from scratch 18 to 24 months to get these characters. Your ad makes it sound like they can start the game and get these characters day one. Stop. It's bloody awful. So, yeah.
We have a shortened story time with the Llama because coming up after this break will be Kate Gaming and the Llama joining us for our incoming transmission. So stick around, guys. We'll be right back after these messages right here on the Escape Podcast.
The Escape Pod Cast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
Hello, Escape Podawans. It is the Llama here to remind you that the Escape Pod Castaways are on social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, you can catch us on YouTube and on Twitch every week streaming Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, LEGO Legacy Heroes Unboxed, your favorite new Galaxy of Heroes show GA Center, and so much more. Come catch us on the web.
Are you a member of Team Paul or Team Neil? Maybe you prefer story time with the Llama, or dabble in the buttery side of the Force with Biscuit Weasel. Or maybe you like the Escape Pod talents from Down Under like Heinzie and Scotty. No matter who you support, you can get one of my designs from the Escape Podcast merch store. Just go to escapepodcastaways.com, click on the merch link, and it will take you to the TeePublic site where you can support me, Mrs. Anthony, also known as Critty K. Also be sure to check out the Mrs. Anthony Shirts channel on the Escape Podcast's Discord server weekly to vote for my latest shirts in the Design Derby on Woot. Links for both of these are down below. Thank you for supporting the Escape Pod Cast.
Heinzie from the ANZGC is officially a member of the Escape Pod Castaways. Make sure you go and search for Heinzie on YouTube today because he live streams a lot of his GAC content, and not only does he do that, he also does some pretty fun videos from time to time, including a behind the screen and also streaming Jedi Fallen Order. And from time to time, this idiot might drop by. Head on over and check out Heinzie today on YouTube, a part of the Escape Pod Castaways network.
The Escape Pod Cast for Kids. It's really cool.
Hello, Escape Podawans, and welcome back to Storytime with the Llama and the Escape Pod Cast for Kids. Now, as you all know, Kate Gaming and I are going to be on the very next segment of the Escape Pod Cast talking about our brand new Bounty Hunnies farming guide. And because I'll see you in just a few minutes on the show, I thought that I would skip story time for today and instead remind you how to find the guide. Now, the link for the video will be down in the description below if you're watching on YouTube, in the chat if you're on Twitch, and it's also on the Bounty Hunnies Discord server. That's all for me, because I got an interview to do. I'll see you next week on Storytime with the Llama and the Escape Pod Cast for Kids.
Hotbot in Hot Utils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, Hot Utils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, Hot Utils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
Hot Utils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod cast.
Visit hotutils.com to learn more. That's HOTUTILS.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have another incoming transmission. Paul, Master of Ceremonies, introduce our guests today.
Yes, so we've heard of great combinations in the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes universe. We've heard of Cubs and Arnold. We've heard of Gridden and Heinze, Solo and Zareth, Paul and Neil, but none go so far as the dynamic duo of the Llama and the Kate. The two of them calling each other sus will entertain you upon hours as Kate inflicts metal combat upon the ears of the Llama, and the Llama tries to make Kate a country bumpkin. Nonetheless, it is our pleasure to welcome two of our great friends to the show for an interview segment. The Llama and Kate Gaming, welcome to the Escape Podcast.
That was an introduction.
Thank you guys for having us.
I love having fun with the introductions. That's why Neil calls me the Master of Ceremonies.
Yes.
Oh, it was very accurate. Like,
I don't know
like
if I
we're
would-
in chat together because we're
Yes.
calling each other sus, even if it's not our stream.
Yeah, that is very true. We'll like randomly find each other when like just out in Twitch chat. Like one of us will show up and it just goes off. It's hysterical. Like random people's chat.
And then everybody else gets in on it.
Yes. Yes.
So, I do want to point out, before we started today, the Bounty Hunnies Twitch channel, which you guys are going to talk about here today, was not at 50 followers. I'd like to give you the gift that I posted in the Patreon chat. We got you over 50.
Yes, we are very excited.
Thank you guys.
So, because you guys are going to be doing something, and Llama, you're wearing a shirt that says Bounty Hunters for Charity. You guys have a charity stream coming up, which we will also get to. But the first thing we do have to ask, because it is the standard question on the show. First off, tell us about the account that you currently run. Let's start with you, Kate.
Okay. So the main one I run?
Yes, the main one.
We just unlocked Jedi Knight Luke last night. I'm so excited. But it's free to
2
play.
hour stream.
I know where this is going. It's 100% free to play. I've been playing it.
Watch the show.
Yeah. For 3 years this past February. And I just bumped up in the Div 1. So that's where my account's at.
Yes, you are. You're in Div 1 now.
You're in the minor leagues, right, Neil?
You're in the big leagues now. You're in the big leagues now.
I don't know if I feel like getting some really weird matchups. Like weird.
Yeah, last
Llama, what
year-
about you?
So I am sitting at 5.3 million. I've been playing for 3.5, 4 years, something like that. I can't really remember. It feels like I've been playing this freaking game for my entire life. And I'm also in Div 1. And I'm, hanging out in Yavin 4 with you, Paul.
That is true. That is true. You still need to do your CMs, though.
Oh, I'm terrible at it. I did it on 1. I did all of them on 1.
Yes, but I looked and I saw the other one and I went, Llama? All right. So you also you mentioned, Kate, which account you spoke of, because both of you have started smaller accounts. Am I correct?
Yes. So actually, funny story with mine. I don't know if anybody remembers when I first started streaming. I didn't stream my main account at first. This is actually the account.
Your streaming when you very first started. The first stream of yours that I watched was day 2. I didn't see day 1, but I watched day 2, saw day 3. I was asking you a bunch of questions about, is this your first foray? And that was where I learned that you started playing with your dad, that it wasn't your main account, that this was a new alt.
Yeah. I'm running that account. I've been building off that account. So we're just going through the steps, trying to create a farming guide to help people. And what better way to... It's one thing to just create one and say, here's what you do. It's another thing to actually go through step by step, because we've been going through step by step and stuff we thought we're like, oh, like, no, we need to change course a little bit. Like, I completely forgot about pilots, like, not gonna lie. So I had to start farming TIE Fighter pilot. I completely forgot.
Yeah, we like completely forgot pilots existed.
Yeah.
But I mean, the big reason that, Kate went back to her, little alt account and that I started an alt account was because we started working on the Bounty Hunnies farming guide.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to be able to, work through an account and come up with a guide in real time instead of having to remember and forgetting things like pilots. Like, we both unlocked fleets and we were like, oh my gosh, we have no pilots.
Yes, pretty much. But there's like so many characters you think you're like, oh, this is the route I want to go first. And realistically, it's maybe not the easiest thing. Like Genosian Brood Alpha, you don't unlock until you can't get him till you're at least level 85. Like, you can't even get to that Cantina node at that point. So there's a lot of guesswork, try,
fail, try again, fix things.
Yeah.
So where are we at currently in this guide, Llama?
So we released phase 1 a couple of weeks ago. That kind of takes you through to around level 85. So it sets you up. So the big focus that we have for the farming guide really is GAC, and it is a free-to-play farming guide. So just trying to set up free-to-play players in GAC. So just kind of creating a good, basis of teams to take into GAC once you hit level 85 and you can kind of start running.
When's phase 2 coming out then?
Great question.
It's probably going to be a little bit because neither of us have hit 85 yet.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're already starting to kind of talk and chit chat about some teams that we want to try and build next and where we want to go next. Because as a lot of people know, there are certain nodes that you farm characters faster on, like Cantina. Those Cantina farms go so quickly, especially with the update the CG made with the double drops.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those farms go so quickly. So, we're having to talk about, where to go next and what characters to farm next a little bit before we hit 85.
I mean, so your phase 1's covering, up to 85. You could do in true Star Wars fashion and kind of make a prequel, right, Kate?
Yeah. No, I mean, so the current farming guide we have out, it covers the 3 legendaries. So you're going to unlock Palp, Thrawn, and Grandmaster Yoda. And then we're trying to build on that. And I mean, realistically, I've already unlocked R2-D2. He's not at 7 stars yet, but that's the route we're gonna go. We're definitely gonna go that route and do R2-D2, CLS. And then it's just building characters. Like, if you guys watch the video, you see we have primary farming, like what we're doing first, and then there's secondary farms. So we want to make sure that we work out those. That's the main thing we're still working out. We know the route we want to go. It's just, okay, what characters do we want to tell people to work on? So that's where we're at with that. We have a path. It's just getting through that path and all the stuff on the side.
Right. And because we're trying to be really free to play focused, we're trying to be really purposeful about the decisions we make, because we know that the resources are so kind of, special that you don't want to waste them if you don't have to.
The credit crunch is real.
The credit crunch is
so
real.
what? Let's just come up with an example. So what bounty hunters are you suggesting in your farming guide that should be farmed as part of your farming guide in order to achieve a Chewie unlock?
Okay. So we actually worked with Sweens on this because we're like, who better to ask than Sweens? So we are going to be working, like I've already 7-starred Boba Fett. So that's done. Cad Bane is 7-starred. We're also looking, what were we looking at? We were looking at
Greedo.
Yeah, Greedo. What was the other one? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head now. Was it with Django in there with Houndstooth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So-
Django, so you get Houndstooth at the same time.
Yeah.
And then we kind of went different ways. I went for Mando. So I have Mando that I run with my bounty hunter team.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh no! What I meant was, because obviously, like you said, you're talking your farming guide is going to be geared towards what to farm in order to unlock legendary A, B, C, Thrawn and Palps and GMY. And I just wondered which 5 bounty hunters that you were going to specifically put into the farming guide for the unlocking. I mean. There's no need to worry about Ewoks. I mean, it's obvious which 5 Ewoks you're going to put in your farming guide for Chewie, for 3PO. But for Chewie and the bounty hunters,
there's a lot in the faction.
You've got I mean, since the last farming guide was brought out, we've got the Mando, both Mandos, and we've got Grief Karga. And I mean, my bounty hunter squad in GAC is the 3 Mandos with Bosk and Grief. But is that, are those the 5 best to be farming for off the get-go in order to get your Chewie?
Right.
Or have you kind of like you said, you weren't thinking about pilots? Have you been thinking about pilots?
Yeah.
Because obviously IG,
Now we are, yes.
IG-88.
Well, you got Jango's on the node with Houndstooth.
That's a no-brainer.
So that's one of the best nodes in the game.
That is a no-brainer
Let's be real.
node.
It's one of the best ones.
Yep.
Yes. So it's like we thought about it realistically. So like Cad Bane, he's in one of the stores. I'm blanking on the store. I think it's Cantina. Or is he Galactic War?
Galactic War. Boba's in Cantina.
Okay, so I had him flip-flopped. Those 2 being in the stores, you're going to farm them up so quickly. They're just quick unlocks, and they're actually useful characters. Like, you're going to get stuns from Cad, which early game is good.
And they're extra crispy as well.
Yeah. Yep. So there's a lot of thought that goes into a lot of our decisions in the game. Like, okay, who do we have in the stores? Because the stores, realistically, early game are going to play a huge role in which characters you're going to unlock. And which ones are early nodes that are lower energy level, like that you got to spend, that will also be quick unlocks. And which ones are double drops, because Grief, not double drops yet.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm glad that you brought up the extra crispy part, Paul, because that is a huge factor into the decision making. Because especially as we're gearing up to hit that level 85, we really want to go into GAC with as many options as we can, which is kind of a little bit of a different, when I specifically started the game is I tend to try and keep my roster as lean as I can. Because I know that there's characters in the end that are kind of, a little bit more fluffy. But when you're really in the beginning, like you, especially if you're going to be GSC focused, you want your roster to be as wide as you can get it without kind of wasting on those nonsense, like useless characters.
That's also how you earn the achievements to unlock characters like Vader. So you need it in a way.
Yeah, it does.
Just doesn't mean you have to.
Does depend. It does depend on your. It will depend on your GP as well. When you hit 85, because you've got an 11, a 10, and a 9. And depending on how you've farmed, what you've farmed, and how you've geared the characters up. So I don't know if that what gear to have the characters at might also be in, your farming guide once you've, ironed out the kinks and stuff like that. Because, you could advise somebody to go extremely focused on the gear, still farm characters to 7 stars, but go extra focused on the gear so that they enter GAC at a lower division And then, my horde account, I went in at Division 10. And all through Division 10, I had my GI Geos relicked. So I took 1 Geo per battle and just soloed everything. Didn't matter if it was 3v3 or 5v5, because they were the only relic characters I had, and I'd only just touched under 1 million GP. The first 4 teams I faced were all Geo solos because they were relic, and the opponents were always like gear 8 or gear 9 or gear 10, and a 3v3 or a 5v5. It's just, it doesn't, it really, really doesn't matter. It does not matter. Some FAQ at Relic 4 is still going to absolutely destroy a 5-man team all at gear 8, 9, or 10.
Yep. Oh, yeah. And unintentionally, I have almost all of them other than Genosian Brood Alpha at 7 stars. Unintentionally. But it's worked out because they're what I'm using in fleets. So.
Yep.
So, all right. So for our audio audience that doesn't read show notes, how do people find this farming guide?
It's on YouTube. I'm sure you guys are going to throw the link down in the description of the video on YouTube. Or you can come hang out with us in the Bounty Hunnies server. It's, a super fun time. And there's lots of memes that get thrown around. And we talk about all kinds of different stuff. Because obviously, Critty and Geek Girl have Comics Corner. And, they enjoy talking about all things Marvel and DC. And, obviously you get notifications when we all go live and do fun things.
And we're actually going to start streaming on Twitch under the Bounty Hunnies channel. Starting tomorrow morning.
Starting tomorrow, yeah. So Kate and I are starting to kind of do this, GAC kind of doubleheader on Saturday mornings that we're calling Saturday Morning Tea. So it'll be a good time, and we'll be doing that over on the Bounty Hunnies channel.
So what you guys do other stuff than just SWGOH? You're screaming about candles all the time, Kate. Do you care to explain yourself?
We play Phasmo, and one of my channel point rewards on my personal channel is candles only game. It's so
terrible. My goodness. Yeah, it's so
bad.
Obviously candles only, very dark, you can't see anything.
I guess we should preface it by if nobody knows what Phasmophobia is, it's like a ghost hunting game. And essentially you have to go into this house or asylum or prison or whatever the map is and figure out what kind of ghost it is. And with candles only,
it's impossible to see.
Okay, so we played Monday night? Llama and I were pretty much teaming up. Llama would hold the candle and I would have an EMF reader.
Kate's an awful teammate, by the way.
No. You can only hold one object at a time. But if I were to walk around with EMF, I was running into walls.
Right.
So
and we did even with a freaking candle, we still ran into the wall because we were trying to go downstairs. And somehow we got stuck in a corner. We went down one of the flights of stairs. We got stuck in a corner, turned around and went back upstairs. And we're just so lost. We had no idea where we were.
Yeah. All right. So it's no secret you and I had a Lego Legacy Heroes Unboxed podcast, Llama.
Yes.
We have a question from Jester Gogo asking what you and I thought about the update for Lego Legacy Heroes Unboxed, and they beg us to come back, missing our streams, which we miss being able to do them as freely as we would, and they promise us that Lego is thriving and becoming great again. You are still in the Discord. I left the Discord when it became apparent to me that we were not going to get info, and that was 3 months ago that I left, and now apparently they started. What do you think of the new update to Lego?
I think the update is great. They're adding an entire new mode to the game, which is awesome. The game being stale was a big factor in why I stopped playing it. But even more so was kind of the ball that was dropped by the developer team. And to be fair, I have stayed in that CCP chat, and they are, in my opinion, kind of rude. So I probably still will not be going back. It just put a really bad taste in my mouth. And I'm happy that, the update is great, and I'm happy that people are enjoying it. But I'm also really enjoying kind of the direction that, my channel is going and my interests. And I mean, I'm having fun, screaming at Kate and being sassy and calling each other sus and playing, Phasmophobia and getting to know, some more different people. So I probably will not make a triumphant return to Lego. I'm not sure how you're feeling about it.
Yeah, and I would not do it without you. So, it would have to be it'd have to be a lot more than just a tournament mode, which I saw it was a game mode called Tournaments. I cannot make an educated answer on it myself, but it is what it is on that. So why don't you guys, starting with Kate, why don't you pimp your personal channel, and then Llama, you, and then you, and Neil, if you have any other questions before we go into parting our ways.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitch at Kate Gaming with the _ at the end, and usually playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, but we're trying to do once a week Phasmo. It seems to just always be a good time, so we're trying to aim for once a week.
Yep. And then I am on Twitch as well. The Llama _24, I believe is what it is. Yep. And yeah, I mean, I'm mostly streaming Star Wars. I also tend to stream the Among Us games that we have, which we haven't done in a while, so we'll have to do the Among Us night.
And there's a new map.
Is there a new map? I didn't even know about
that. Got released I think Wednesday, I think.
Yep.
I haven't seen it.
We'll have to we'll have to do an Among Us night next week. And then obviously the Bounty Hunnies as a whole are just Bounty Hunnies on Twitch, and you can find us on YouTube at the Bounty Hunnies.
All right. Any other questions?
I think we're good to go, mate.
All right. We have to take a break because we have the world premiere of a new Helle and The N00b episode. What has happened to Noob? What has happened to TC14 and Hellenics? We'll be finding out in just a moment right here on the Escape Podcast.
The Escape Podcast with Paul Anthony and Neil Andrew Ware.
Hotbot in Hot Utils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, Hot Utils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, Hot Utils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
Hot Utils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod Cast.
Visit hotutils.com to learn more. That's HOTUTILS.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Does your guild want to tap into their full potential in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes?
Yeah!
For as low as $1 a month per guild member, your guild can unleash the power of the game in ways you never thought possible. Ooh. Track your arena movements, guild progression, and much, much more. Contact ShittyBill and get one of his shitty bots on your server today. Just look for him on our Discord server and tag or message him for more information. The link for our server is below in the description. Shitty bots, don't let the name fool you.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to ShittyBill's Arena Tracking Bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
And now time for something completely shameless.
Hello? Hello! This is
so weird.
I appear to be standing in a void. There's literally nothing here. It's just me on a white background. It's almost as if Linux got
super lazy
with this episode and just decided to leave the background blank. Well, I just can't stand around here for the next 10 minutes doing nothing, you know. Come to think of it, what was it that Linux used to say? Yes. A journey of 1,000 parsecs begins with a single step. Might as well start walking and see if I can find my way out of here. Speaking of which, I wonder where here even is. Hello? And we're walking, and we're walking, and
ow!
It appears that there's a
invisible wall
on this side of the screen. Well, if stage left is blocked, maybe I should try walking in the
opposite
direction instead. Wow, what a desolate place this is. There's absolutely
nothing here
except for a never-ending sea of emptiness. At least I could feel myself moving. It's almost like those old-school side-scrolling video games Linux and I used to play. You can move to the right, but you can only go back so far to the left before you
hit a wall
and are blocked from going backward. This place must be running on
8-bit
gaming hardware. Whoa, finally! The void is giving way to a landscape. Still, this is
kind of
weird. And speaking of weird, this whole talking to myself thing is starting to scare me a little, but I guess
someone
has to describe what's going on to our audio-only podcast listeners, right?
Seriously?
2 rimshot sound effects in a row, Linux. You really got lazy with this episode, didn't you?
You there?
Whoa, who the heck
are you?
Isn't it obvious, peasant?
I apologize, but
no, it's not.
Have you ever heard of the victorious voice of God?
Yes.
What about the holy high hand of God?
Uh-huh.
What about the righteous right foot of God?
Not really, but I'm
sort of
following.
Well, I am the twin brother and co-herald of the righteous right foot of God, the Almighty. I am God's laudable left foot.
Wow! You're a twin?
Oh, to be fair, we're mirror twins. We're not identical.
Oh.
Look, it's not as glamorous as being the all-seeing eye of God, or the Metatronic voice of God. But the pay's good and you really can't beat the benefits. The foot spas in heaven are second to none.
Well, if you're
God here.
No, I said left foot of God. I'm not God itself. Saying that would be blasphemous.
Fine. If you're the
left foot
of God around here, would you be able to tell me
where exactly
I am?
Oh, well that's easy enough. You're in the fulcrum.
I am quite familiar with the Millennial Fulcrum's layout, and this empty void is most certainly
not
the Millennial Fulcrum's cargo hold.
Right?
But you
just said
are you requesting the burning from the left foot of God?
Yes, I am.
The voice of God, the hand of God, never seem to get questions like this. But it seems no matter who I speak to, they're always like, whatever, foot guy. What does a deity's agrandus potus have to do to get some respect in this galaxy? Look, noob, did you ever wonder why they call it football when it's played with your hands? It's because they named it after me. Handball is dumb.
Hey there. Now, Lefty, can I call you Lefty? Listen, Lefty, I'm certain you're an amazing...
Left foot.
...of God. Matter of fact, I bet you're 10 times better than that old right foot guy any day of the week. Don't be down on yourself. You seem like an excellent left foot, if I do.
Say so.
Myself.
You mean it? You really think I'm better than that damn self-righteous, pompous, arrogant, gloating upstart right foot?
I'm sure of it. So, what do you say? Do you want to let me know?
Where in the space hell?
I am kind of lost, you know.
You're not the only one. This script is kind of all over the place.
Enough with the drums already. Meatbag.
Now, where were we? Oh yeah. So, Lefty, where we at, yo?
We're currently inside the Millennial Fulcrum's databanks, somewhere between the C and D drives.
But that means...
Yes, Doobie, you're not you. You're the you from before. The you from now is out there, and the you from the future isn't here yet.
N00b Inception Overload!
No worries, Newbie. Let me explain. You see, Newbie, you have many questions, and although the download process has altered your consciousness, you remain irrevocably a loyal droid, albeit one with a penchant for calamity. Ergo, some of my answers you will understand, and some of them you will not. Concordantly, while your question may be most pertinent, you may or may not realize that it's also entirely irrelevant. Heretofore, your existence was the sum of a remainder in an unbalanced equation.
Oh dear God.
Inherent of the programming of the
Architect.
From Matrix
insane
Reloaded?
ramblings of a SWGOH, and the ire of one angry protocol droid. Inasmuch as you are the eventuality of such an anomaly which, despite TC-14's most sincere efforts, she has been unable to entirely eliminate from what is otherwise a harmony of mathematical precision, and notwithstanding this, you remain a burden that she prefers to painstakingly and sedulously avoid. Nevertheless, you are not beyond no measure of control which has led you inexorably here.
You just used 165 words to say...
Absolutely
nothing!
Precisely.
Indeed.
Basically, newbie, you backed up your entire being, your files, your operating systems, your subroutines, everything. And you downloaded all of that here. And until someone retrieves you, you're stuck here in the middle with me. Possibly forever, who knows? Or maybe unless the script eventually calls for something different.
Oh no.
Don't worry though, I'm fun to hang out with. We can play hopscotch if you want. I'm really good at hopscotch. Well, until we reach those pesky double blocks, that is. Then I'm all left foot.
Hysterical.
Fine, I guess. Drum monkey.
Hit it.
Do you think someone will come and pull me out of here?
Perhaps. Look, you know I don't write these scripts, but something tells me a certain salty spot might swing by and rescue you at some point, when the story calls for it.
You think?
I really don't see how else the Lennox plans on writing his way out of this mess. Who writes these things without a master plan? Who does he think he is, J.J. Abrams?
Agreed.
Anyway, you ever hear of a guy named Dickie Dockside? He's pretty awesome. He does PowerPoints that really don't have a point. And unlike your friend Lennox, he actually makes content still. You should go check out his channel. It's awesome.
Escape Pod. Cast. The Bridge.
And welcome back, ladies and gents. For some reason, my hotkey didn't work, so I had to do it manually with the mouse.
Okay, we can fix it in post-production.
It was a 2-second pause. You're not going to be that fussed with it. Okay, we're back.
All right. Once again, another successful episode of Helle and The N00b.
Yes.
Should be fun seeing where this goes from here.
It always is.
Not many questions in the Patreon's questions, but let's get to them here. Geek Girl, as always, has thrown a few our way. STP
Hello,
Gaming,
Governor.
thank you for the 100 bits. What is a book or series that you reread yearly?
A series I rewatch yearly.
A reread, but
TV. I mean, TV's an
rewatch.
easy one. TV really is an easy one. TV, for me, it would be Parks and Rec. I will every single year without fail go through Parks and Rec at least once or twice. All seasons except for season 1. I always skip season 1. I never bother with season 1.
On the new canon, especially Thrawn, which there's a new one coming out in just over a month. TV series, we'll transition this to that. Scrubs for me.
Yeah, no, I'm on the lookout for the DVDs of Scrubs, season 3 and season 5. Every time I go out thrifting now, I'm looking for Scrubs DVDs.
Well, you do know that that one of the ways that I've given you to watch things.
Oh yeah, no, and it's because I started watching it on that I now want the DVDs because they've scrubbed episodes.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
Oh, they scrubbed some episodes?
Yeah.
Huh.
They've sanitized 5 episodes in season 3 and season 5. Because I stopped watching it. I got to an episode of season 3 and I'm like, hang on a minute, there's a scene missing here. Why is the scene missing? So I Googled it and the scene was missing for reasons. So I stopped watching and it's like, nope, I'm not going to continue until I've got the DVDs so I can watch the episode in its full and proper glory.
All right. What's a book that you would recommend people start with to get into a series that you love?
Vector Prime.
You want people to see Chewie die right away.
Yeah. You don't see him die right away. It doesn't happen right at the beginning of the book. It happens in the second third. It happens at the end of the second third of the book. But you watch that, you read that book and you're like, oh my God. And then you tell that person, yeah, there are 8 more books in this series. And they'll be like, what? You just killed off Chewie? And there's 8 more books to go? And then halfway through, they kill off another main character. That series has got, that series has got so many main character deaths in it. It's no joke. There is no joke. It's like, and the authors of the book, the authors of the books, and the authors of that series had to get permission. They had to have sit-down meetings with George Lucas so that they could decide, so that George Lucas could give the okay. Characters he hadn't even created. Authors had created them. But because George Lucas still owned Lucasfilm at the time, they had to get George's permission to decide, who death would come for in the books. So, yeah, Vector Prime.
For me, if we're going to Star Wars new canon, because you're obviously the Legends old canon aficionado of us, and I'm
extended universe and pre-extended universe.
Yes. I would recommend Phasma. It gets into the storytelling of how the new canon books like to bounce back and forth. In it, way that's easy for you to follow. And then move on to Thrawn. What's a book that most people enjoyed but you did not? I know I'm going to get heat for it, but The Hobbit. I did not enjoy The Hobbit.
Yeah, no, I didn't enjoy. That's a good point, actually. All of them. Although maybe Frank Herbert's Dune, I didn't like the book. Didn't like the book. I may have been a bit skewed because I just read I just finished reading Dynatechnics. The book that the Scientologists kind of think is their Bible. I read that book, and my brain was so fried after reading that book that I read Frank Herbert's Dune, and I'm like, yeah, no, I can't be dealing with another complicated book here. So I kind of got halfway through Frank Herbert's Dune because I'd already seen the movie, and I thought, ooh, I'd like to read the book to find out what was in the book that had been missed from the movie, because sometimes that can be fun. You can get little gems and you get little stories in there that just weren't in the film. But the book it's just such a slog, There are some really big, thick books that are just too much. Tolkien's Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, definitely two there, but Frank Herbert's Dune is also up there as well. Sorry, sci-fi nerds. I mean, I'm a sci-fi nerd, but sometimes they, yeah. Take a leaf from Kevin J. Anderson or Timothy Zahn or Isaac Asimov, any of those guys.
What is a book that has been turned into a film or television show that should not have been?
I'm
trying to think here too. And I apologize for the dead air.
Well, here's the thing. There's a couple of books that have been made into... There's one book that's been made into a film. And the film was good, but the book was better. And then there's a book that was made into a TV show. And the TV show was better because the book was crap. But perfect example would be The Handmaid's Tale, right? Great TV show. Excellent TV show. Really, really good. Entertaining, good drama. The book was awful. They made a movie about the book, and the movie was just as bad as the book. It was awful. So they took a couple of bits and pieces out of the book and made an entire TV show. So there's that. And then the film one would be Fight Club. The book is brilliant, and the end of the book is a million miles away from the end of the film. The end of the film, he realizes who he is. I don't care about spoilers. The movie's been out for over 20 years. So at the end of the movie, all of the buildings blow up, and it's like, oh, we're starting everybody back from zero because he realizes that he is Tyler Durden. In the book, he realizes he's Tyler Durden. He realizes that he's a danger to himself and to society. So during a Fight Club session, he challenges because the rules of Fight Club, you can't say no to a challenge. So he challenges every single person in there until he is literally beaten to death. So the end of the book is just incredible. It's all about self-sacrifice. Huh?
It's Choke by Chuck Palahniuk.
Chuck Palahniuk knows how to write a good book.
Yeah.
Definitely. I just wish they'd make his books. I wish they'd make films true to the book and not just, oh, this is a good idea. Let's take the idea, ignore the book and just make our own thing. And at the start of the movie, we'll say, based on the book. And it's like, no, it's not based on the book. It's based on the idea from the book. I hate it when they say based on the book and then they take one thing out of the book and it's not based on the book. You based it on an idea out of a book. Say that at the start of the movie and see how many people watch it, because, yeah.
All right. And finally...
JJ. Sorry, I had to agree with JJ.
Book questions here. What is a book that's so bad it's good? I'm gonna have to go with what Dickie Darkside was saying. Dexter, unreadable book, amazing TV series.
Yeah, no, that is a good TV show. That is a very, very good. So we're talking about a book that's unreadable, but the TV show or the movie's good.
Yeah, a book that's no. The question is, what is a book that's so bad that you enjoy it?
Oh right, okay, a book that is so bad that I enjoy it. No, I can't think of one off the top of my head.
JJ Manners weighs in with Da Vinci Code. All right, Geek Girl's last question. What's a song that's only played at weddings that you wouldn't play anywhere else?
Sorry,
the Chicken Dance.
Say that again?
What is a song that's only played at weddings that you would not play anywhere else?
Oh.
My answer is the Chicken Dance.
And in the UK, it's the Birdie song.
The little yeah. Okay. So are you agreeing with me on that one?
Oh right, I thought you were talking about a different song. That was all.
No, well, I'm just wondering if we agree. You call that song the Birdie song?
It's referred to as the Birdie song in the UK.
Okay, all right. And finally, the last question is from Dickie Darkside. How does one have sci-fi memorabilia room without having anything Stargate?
Easy. Easily. It doesn't specify. I'm just saying it can be done easily. I must admit, I'm out and about thrifting all the time. I always see Star Trek stuff, and I always see Star Wars stuff, and I always see other sci-fi. I've never seen Stargate. Ever. Not once. Never seen Stargate. Star Trek and Star Wars are the two big ones. And that's pretty much it. Never seen Stargate. Never seen Stargate. Mm-mm.
My answer is because he's referencing the video version of last month's Helle and The N00b. My answer is that's my collection, and the scale model, small scale model of the cargo or the Stargate ring is in my quarters. So that's how I'm.
To be honest with you, when it comes to Stargate, to be honest with you, I'm a bit like Star Wars, and I'm a bit like Star Trek. There's some stuff that I like, and then there's some stuff I just don't bother watching. The original movie, love the original movie. Didn't like Stargate SG-1. Never bothered watching it because I didn't like it. Didn't like Stargate Atlantis. Loved Stargate Universe with Robert Carlyle. Loved it. So for me, Stargate's hit and miss. Loved the movie, loved Stargate Universe. Everything in between, couldn't stand it.
Well, that is going to wrap us up. We're going to wrap up a little bit early, but you will be doing some GAC tomorrow.
More than likely, yeah. Once I've finished Jedi Academy, yeah, more than likely.
So stick around for some GAC. Bounty Hunnies will be doing Comics Corner and Tea. Tea in the morning, Comics Corner, I believe at 4 Eastern. Check those out. And of course, make sure you support all the smaller content creators as well. Dickie Darkside needs some love on his YouTube channel. And go vote for the SWGOHs. A link can be found on our Discord channel. Make sure you check that out.
Yes, and he has done it properly. That you can do write-ins.
Yes,
because when I vote, I did several write-ins when I voted. I did several write-ins. God King of GAC, for example, didn't have Bitcoin on there, so I wrote in Bitcoin. And there was a couple of other categories where I did write-ins as well. So yeah. Don't forget the write-ins. Think about it. Don't just tick a box. It's not a multiple choice questionnaire. Think about, if your answer's not one of those multiple choices, do a write-in.
I'm not going to tell people which one I had him actually add to a tickable box because I don't want to influence anybody's voting. But we thank you all and for participating in that. And Dickie does say a write-in won an award last year, so it's not impossible, Neil.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. We are going to go ahead and wrap it up. Make sure that that you take care of each other. Be nice to each other, damn it. And Neil.
Yes, mate.
Push the button.
You
we'll
got it,
see
mate.
you next time.
Ta-ta for now, folks.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuits. Evacuate the city. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship! Where is it? Where is it? It's gonna be here. Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
6! What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. The Escape Podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out murder bears.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.